What's up, peoples? Merry Ember seasons. Rocky. Hey, everybody. Um, yes, I'm live right now, and it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everybody. And so I'm at my parents' house, my mom and dad's house. My mom is has passed away and left this realm a few years back, but this is my dad's house now, and it's a very special place for me. This is one of my old rooms. I've had many different rooms in this house, so this is one of them. And it's very interesting here, and very magical place. This house, um, for my family, me, and this area. It's just this area. I believe that we were led to this area because of how amazing it is. Hey everybody, what's going on? Glad everybody's here inside the chat room. We're gonna do some live readings real quick, and I'm just getting over a cold. Like I said, I am at my old room at my parents' house right now. And hey, peace. Hey, Hawk, we're gonna get up later, brother. If ever anybody sees in the room, my buddy Hawk right there, that is the magical man that I'm doing a comic book with. And after this holiday season, we're gonna really take it by storm and really start to shift. I gotta get this so this camera is better, so I don't have to hold it in my hand. Better angle, but this way, everybody, we have this comic book, me and Hawk, called Kid Sleep. And everybody, if you don't know who Hawk is, he's a Detroit techno artist. He's one of the most talented comic book artists that I know. And he's able to, I mean, he has his own stuff that he comes up with as well, but he's able to bring to life some of my creations. And I think that we have some sort of connection that way, and we were led to each other. And I'm really looking forward to creating a comic book with him. It's called Kids, and it's about how society, this world, these humans, they've been taken over, been put to sleep in a way. And Kid Sleep, the abilities that he has in his dream time, that he's able to fight this intelligence that's taken over our society, the Grigori, this rebel race. And they've been infected by an artificial intelligence that has taken over our physical realm. And Kid Sleep is helping awaken society so they can help fight this. And it's gonna be a great, I mean, if you guys seen some of the previews on my Patreon, and in my opinion, I've been reading comic books since the 80s, since the early 80s, and it's up there with some of the best that's ever been out. And between the storyline and you guys know my history and knowing mythology and things like that, so we can go so deep in this comic. I think deeper than anybody else. Sorry to read that. Was my buddy Misaki calling in. I had to stop the call. But when you do shows and videos and topics like I talk about, you get a limited viewing, a specific, people, a specific genre. It doesn't hit the masses because it's not many people are open to these topics. But when you reveal certain truths through movies, comic books, and media that way, it's sort of accepted because it's seen as it's supernatural or paranormal, or or fiction or something like this. So that's how I'm gonna have to reveal some of the truths that I've witnessed in my life, some of the experiences that I've had, some of the encounters I've had. So is through a comic book or some sort of art, right? You reveal the truth in some sort of hidden way, and that's what me and Hawk are about to do. We have already started our comic book, so please, if anybody wants to donate towards it, it's going to cost us at least the minimum 5,000 to get this made. And we're trying. We got the cover made so far, and we got the first little bit of first page made. So we have enough content for 50 issues at least, trust me. But we just have to get the ink and all this stuff, and it costs a lot of money. So right now we're gonna go deeper into it. I hope I have some sage at this house. Hold on. I'm gonna do a few readings for people. Now listen, I know it's the Ember Day season, so I'm gonna do this for free for some people. But if you can donate in the live chat, whether it's $2 or $5 or $50, donate to support if you can. I'm gonna be doing these live readings, and if anybody donates $25 or more, I will ship them crystals in the mail. You just got to give me your address privately. Rohan, if I don't know if he's in the chat room now, but the last live chat I did, he gave a donation of 25 bucks. I sent him a couple of crystals. I finally, but um, everything's cool with the AdSense. So if you want to donate in a live chatting with me later on, and schedule one, I'm at themysticalspiral.com, and my Patreon's at patreon.com/themysticalspiral. Hold on, let me see if I got some sage at this house. Might a little bit of sage here, I'm not sure. But yeah, so wow, I forgot about this, man. This was my mom's. This was my mom's little bag. Look at these are fava beans. In Strega, they would give fava beans as lore, as like offerings, prayers. A lot of Saint Anthony medals. Wow. All the rocks. She used to carry rocks in her pocket every day with her. And oh my God, these are, I can't even tell you how many Saint Anthony medals she's got here. All these Saint Anthony medals. Like I said, in Strega, you can pray to Saint Anthony if you want anything. If you want a wife, if you want a new job, if you want anything that you would want at all. Healing. You want to find something that's lost. If you're lost spiritually. Wow, look at all these different, I forgot about all these different metals from all these different places. Wow, these are really old too. These are my mom's. I forgot about all these. Mount Carmel. Wow. Wow, these have spiral designs on the back of this one. Check that out. Yeah, this is pretty intense. Yeah, I got a little bit of cold. I'm just getting over a cold too, so excuse me if I sound all frog-throated. Wow, what's this little one? Wow, this is a real little one. I don't even know what's on there. I gotta get my contacts. I've been taking a break from I usually wear contacts. I've been taking a break from my contacts because I not only did I run out of them, but I was abusing them. I was wearing them too much, and I needed a break. Wow, this is Dwight Eisenhower. Some kind of do it for Ike. It says this is some kind of weird metal. I don't know. Yeah, wow, that's pretty intense too. Wow, some of these are really old. Yeah, this one's from the 50s. Wow. Yeah, so my mom used to keep these in her pockets all the time. Look at this one. Some of these were my poppies too. I have a very ancient family, like you guys have already known, and a lot of interesting things. Even some of my family were Freemasons as well when they came over from Italy, especially in Mount Vernon, New York. A lot of that area. So let me see if I do have some sage. Here, I still got some pyramids here. This is the first pyramid I ever got from Masaki. First one ever. Boom. Yeah, these are some important statues. I'm gonna share this with you guys. I probably never shared. This is the Diana statue. Very important. You see how the fava bean there at the bottom. And this is another statue of Diana. This was my mom wanted this by her bed when she was dying. And see this medal right here? This is very important. My mom died with this on her neck. I gave this, I don't know if you guys can see it well, right here. I gave this to my mom on Mother's Day, right before she died. My mom died on June 26th, 2011. I gave her this that Mother's Day right before. It's a mother holding a baby. And she died with it on her neck. I was going to bury her with it, but we decided to keep it in memory of her and put it on the statue. So yeah, she wanted this statue bed right before she passed. It's pretty big too, this thing. You see the crown of flowers. I don't do it because I to these gods or whatever. It's out of it's respect for my family and my, ancient beliefs of my family. And I do believe that for ancient entities, that they helped us spiritually in some ways, but in some ways people went down the wrong routes to appease these ancient entities. And I think, you know when people see sacrificial altars, they or these stone slabs that are just spread out like it's for sacrifice. I don't think everybody were savages. I don't think it was only for sacrifice. Maybe one generation did use it for that. But a lot of those stone slabs, those flat stone slabs, even the top of Stonehenge, you see like there's a almost like an altar with the two going down and then a slab on top. They were used for sex, and they were used for stargates. The initiate sometimes would even lay on that stone slab to absorb the energy, and it's linked to a certain star, and they would be able to instantly vibrate to another space time. So it's not just for sacrifice. It was for stargates. It was for space exploration, if you want to say. And they were doing this with the sarcophagus in Egypt, you know, and even that they would pour blood on these stones. It wasn't necessarily because somebody was sacrificed, but they would pour blood, DNA stones, so it would absorb the DNA, and then they would beam it, align it with a certain star, and it would instantly transport the initiate in the ritual, to that location they're focusing on. And if you know what kind of star is linked to your birth, it's very important. Like I'm born July 12th. I'm linked to the sign Castor. It's very interesting because my last name is Castaldo as well. So Castor, Castaldo, it's like I'm like a star baby, big time, and that's a very powerful star, very emotional star. And so let's get more into it. So because I could talk all night, like you guys know, and I know my wife's expecting me back because I came here to go out to go get some tissues and things like that at the store, and I had to stop at my dad's real quick, so I figured I'd do this live stream. And like I said, anybody wants to donate in the chat room, it's really appreciated, especially if I'm going to be doing live readings right here. So I can't see how many, I can see how many people in the chat, but I can't, like, I could see people's names that are writing, but I don't know all the names that are in the chat room. So I'm just going to see right off here. I know Ken is a good buddy of mine, and Melinda is that, I don't know if that's Melinda McClung. Yeah, Melinda, I do have your Patreon reading ready. I just have to type it out to you later on, and it's pretty interesting. All right, so this is the kind of readings that I've been doing lately, and it's one of the most important readings that I do, is that I, sort of like a residual, let me clean all this up too while I'm talking, sort of like a residual resonance of like extra sensory abilities that we have dormant. All of us, they're not really extrasensory. They're normal conditions of the human body that have been shut off. We've been shut off in a certain way. 97 to 98% of our DNA is not junk. All right, it's dormant. It's been shut off. So if you become aware of it, it's the first step in reactivating it. Okay, and from what I've found, a lot of these abilities. Whoa, what is this? Look at that. It's a Christopher Columbus or something. It's crazy. So a lot of these abilities that have been shut off, this energy in your DNA, these, hold on, let me plug in my phone. Shit is about to die. So a lot of these abilities, something has gone wrong in another timeline, another time. Like, let me remind you, this is all happening now. So in another incarnation, on another timeline, another incarnation of you, these abilities have gone wrong on somewhere along the your spiritual timelines. Because when you're born, every decision you make sends you down a different timeline, right? So you have multiple, infinite incarnations of yourself, all happening simultaneously, and certain abilities that would help you right now in this incarnation. Like you're trying to almost heal your karma from something that went wrong in another. We've been shut off, right? So if you learn that you need to just let go of those past mistakes and you don't have to always fix them, that's the first step to reactivating it and becoming aware of this gene that's dormant within you. Like maybe you're really good at figuring things out really quickly, but it's just a little sample of your inherited gene of super focus or something like that, which most people have inherently, but it's been shut off. So if you're good at certain things in your life now, that's just a glimpse of your true abilities in what you're good at. So if you unlock the truth, and most likely it's because something with those extra sensory abilities, you were using it in some sort of way that went bad. And if I can find it, whether it's from a form of divination that you were using, or a form of your psychic abilities that were using, or a form of something that were using that you used it in a negative way. And that's why incarnated again in this cycle to try to fix the problem. But you've been shut off, so you're not even aware of it yet. But once you become aware of it and you realize that you can just let it go, you don't have to fix it. You can use your ability to succeed more in this present incarnation. And that's one of the most important things you can unlock about yourself. So, let me see who's in the chat right now. So, Lucius, Ken, I have yours for I have yours for Patreon as well, Ken, so don't worry about that. And if you want, we could do a little reading now, too. So, let me just get a little sage going because... Alright, so we'll do Ken first. Is that cool? And we'll do Lucius, and we'll do Teresa, for sure. Teresa, I have yours as well for Patreon. Awesome. So, Lucius... Ken first. So Ken, let me get this sage going. I know we're not going to use birth dates or anything right now. I'm just going to go off your guys' names. I could just do right from your energy and right from your names what really could come up. So usually things just pop up right away. So with Ken, right away, it's about mastery. All right. So your true abilities is okay. Yeah, Teresa, don't worry, because I've learned a lot about you lately, Teresa. It's going to be really good this next reading. The more I really learn about people, and the more they're around me and around my energy, I really pick up on them even more. So I think, Ken, you have this ability to be a super master, a super wise man, and you have that knowledge hidden inside of you, and it's almost like you something went wrong with knowledge. Something went wrong with your knowledge before. And the ancients, they would pay respect to wise people. And I think that you were one of these wise people at a certain time. And not only that, is that in order to receive like information from the universe, so to say, a certain insight, a certain message, to receive downloads from the universe, to unlock this information, to do this, you have to do it. You have to take a certain action in your life to do this. You're not required to be a wise man, of course. You're not required to obtain all this knowledge, but it's a requirement for you, in your perfect, in your life path, I think. And my phone's actually about to die. I gotta get the cord in a minute. So I think that you need to call upon your ancient one within you. You have it within you, and if you do this, you're gonna find certain strength, certain wisdom in you, that's gonna lead you towards your mastery. And um, it's interesting because um, they have the augur, right? The augur and Etruscan, and they would interpret certain omens and signs from nature. And I think this is what went wrong with you, that um, there were certain prophets, certain kings, and they would consult these wise men. And I think something went wrong with you predicted some sort of thing happening in nature that really went wrong. And so I think that you need to connect with nature in a better way. Go out there. Hold on, let me get away to. My phone's about to die too, so let me plug this in. Hold on, guys. I have a really short charger here. My bring all the goods I needed with me. So I haven't been really seeing, because I'm on my phone right now. I haven't been really seeing what. So can you relate to that at all, Ken? That you sort of have this desire to unlock this knowledge within you, and you know you have some ancient knowledge within you. Why is this battery not working right now? All right, so it is plugged in. So, is Ken still there? I guess not. So, Ken went off to go find his mastery already. So, all right, Ken, you're there. So, Ken, you're there. Yeah. So I think that you were some sort of wise man, and I think that you're. It might even be linked to ancient Italy and ancient the Etruscan culture. And there's look up an Augur. It's an augur, or I think that's how you pronounce it. They were wise men that everybody went to, and they would see signs in nature. And I was seeing you like sort of like calling out to nature, predicting a storm in a certain way. Why is it still saying low battery when I have it plugged in? I guess it's until it gets a higher charge or whatever. But so that, damn, I'm gonna have to stand. I have a bad foot right now too. I'm gonna stand. So um, definitely, Ken, you need to connect with nature a little bit more, and I think that you might have had a traditional calling or something like that that's been passed down that you've diverted from now, and basically you need to stop fighting yourself. You need to acknowledge who you really are, and the true wise man understands the mastery of acceptance, right? So it's time for you to do just that and accept certain mistakes you've made and move on from them, you know? And that's the only way that you're going to be able to heal yourself. I'm sorry I don't have a better setup right now, guys. I will do a better, hopefully I can get better equipment too. Later when I have time, I'm probably gonna do another live stream from my computer at the house. But like I said, I'm at my parents' house right now, and so Lucius, I don't know if you've ever used a Ouija board before, but as I'm thinking about you, this symbols from this Ouija board or an ancient divination of that kind is coming up for me. And usually when that comes up for me, it's about caution. So it's a symbol for caution, and it's a symbol for divination. So I think that something went wrong with using that divination in the past. That somewhere you were trying to pierce the veil of the future through sorts of necromancy, and I don't mean basically that you're using dead bodies or anything like that. There's many different forms of necromancy, and if you're trying to connect with the spirit realm to pierce the veil of the future, to find future events, to find certain hidden things that might happen in the future timeline, then this is a form of necromancy. So this is definitely what I'm catching with you, and it doesn't have to necessarily mean a Ouija board. Um, this Ouija board has been demonized, and just the very name, it brings fear to people and things like this. So, thank you very much. Oh, that's Blue Star Nebula. That's my buddy John. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. So, um, this is about caution. Definitely, it's about caution. It's about not dabbling into things that you don't know completely. If you don't, when I get this symbol for a talking board or something like this, it's usually about caution, and it's usually about not messing with something that you don't know and understand completely. So there's something going on right now with you that you're trying to mess with that you don't fully understand completely, and it's about you taking caution with this. All right. So somewhere along the line in your genetics, in your DNA, is this power for divination. And somewhere along the line, you used it in a negative way. All right. So, in China, in many places, even in going back thousands of years, there was this said the demonized Western version of the Ouija board is something that is negative and something someone shouldn't mess with because it's commercialized. It's been imprinted with a certain energy, and it's like using somebody else's spell. If you repeat somebody else's spell, you're repeating somebody else's intentions. The Ouija board at a store and use it, you're using people's intentions that made this board. If they intended when they manufactured this board and they intended for you to mess with demonic spirits and all sorts of spirits, then that's what kind of codes will activate and manifest when you purchase it for that sort of intention. You're purchasing it for the direct intention to contact the spirit realm. So guess what? This kind of codes will activate and manifest within your consciousness if you truly believe that's what you purchased it for. So it's the Ouija board that has been demonized, not the divination side of that ability. That ability is real, but not through the Ouija board. The Ouija board is a simulation, a code, a symbol that activates for talking to demons, because that's what it was made for. So I think that you had some sort of ancient connection. I'm thinking either ancient Indians or even ancient Greeks or Romans, some sort of medieval European maybe, and that you employed this method of spirit writing at some time in your life, and something went wrong with your spirit writing. And now that I bet you've been completely shut off from that in this life now. Completely. You never even wanted to think about it, maybe even. That's why you really need to remember it and let it go. And let it go. All right? So that's truly why you reincarnate over and over again, because you're trying to fix past mistakes, and then you wake up in this reality not knowing nothing of those past mistakes, and you're trying to figure it out. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why do I feel like I've been here before? The thing is, you need to let it go and remember it's within you, and then you're stronger because of it, not weaker because you made a mistake. You're stronger, okay? And you need to let that go. Okay, so let me try to find a little bit of sage, because I gotta cleanse. I can't just do one after another. I gotta cleanse the little space, because that was pretty heavy right there, and I got a little bit of a headache really quick. So I need to light some sage. Even though sage might not have no medical property, I think somewhere in my brain I programmed that it cleanses my space. So I do use that as a symbol. I am human, as a symbol for kind of a serene atmosphere. And readings are not meant to do over and over and over again in a row like that. So I kind of got to symbolically just wash yourself of it, you know. But um, I don't have sage here. I don't think. Oh, you know what? This is even cooler. These were my poppies. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa, you're coming now. Why, everybody, look at this. My poppy was in World War II, and he had so many cool things. Look at this tooth too. It's an old tribal tooth, some kind of animal. But he kept all these old stamps and old stones in here. These are all old stamps. Look, that's Eisenhower on there. This one's from Italy or something. Old. Oh wow, that's my one of my old German Shepherd's nails and hair that I kept. Wow. Uh, yeah, I've had this. Look, this is my dog Angel's hair. Yeah, I've been this way my whole life. Everybody, I can't help it. uh, it's ingrained in me. Oh man. So yeah, I gotta, I gotta show you some guys some things in here before we go today too as well. If my phone is still it's not depleting, it's staying at the same, so charging it in is definitely keeping it all right. This was my little piggy bank as a kid, look, and I had all my special things that I hid in there. Yeah, this is cool. See, my family was involved with restoring the Statue of Liberty, and see this UBS, that was my uncle's company, and he provided all the scaffolds for the Statue of Liberty back in the 80s. And this is a belt buckle from it. You know, we had all sorts of stuff that was made for it, and it's pretty cool. This was a belt buckle from the Statue of Liberty. I was like a really good soccer player too. I was on a traveling team. They picked the best kids from New York State from my year, and we were on a travel team. We would travel all over, and we get patches from every team that we would beat and play. I kept a lot of them at least. So look at all these patches from this is from soccer. Yeah, I could have went somewhere with soccer, but I had other plans. You know, you don't make a lot of money from in the United States, and I wasn't good on a world level. I was only good for my town and state. I wasn't good on like a world level at all. Wow, look at this. This is a lighter with the Twin Towers on it. Old lighter. Has the Twin Towers right there. I don't know if anybody could see that. It's interesting seeing all this stuff. It's an old torch lighter. It's crazy. Alright, so I do have a little bit of sage here. I like this a little bit. I don't even know if I have a lighter in here. Damn. Yeah, so next week's show, I'm going to be doing about Malta, too. Malta is such an intense place. I'm going to be doing a whole show about it. And, damn, I don't even have a lighter in here, I don't think. Oh, wait, I might have it in my jacket. Nope, I don't even have a lighter. Alright, so I'm just going to have to cleanse myself afterwards a little bit. Not too much the energy in the room. But yeah, it gets heavier and heavier every time I do a reading, so that's why I wanted to just light a little bit of incense. And damn, I know I have one in my car, but I don't feel like running outside right now. So we're gonna do Teresa. Let me clean all this up so I can sit down. I should run outside and get a friggin' lighter real quick, but it's alright. I'm all good. So, it's interesting. It's interesting, the way reality works, the way things work. I'm reading what's in the chat room right now. So yeah, with I know Lucius, I don't know if you heard my last show, but it was all about what activates with certain energies. All about what activates when certain codes that produce certain apparitions and certain things like this when churches are built upon old pagan sites, you know. And that's one of my favorite topics to talk about because most sacred places now are built on old sacred places. And when this happens, it produces all sorts of hordes of apparitions and energies and core and codes within the matrix that have these ghostly apparitions and imprints of energies from the ancients. So right away, Teresa, what I'm catching when I'm thinking about you is I'm seeing a pendulum swinging. Some sort of decision that you need to make is weighing upon you, definitely. And when I'm seeing the pendulum swinging, it's because you're heavy with decisions. There's some sort of decision going on, and you have this ability within your matrix, within your timelines, and something went wrong with this form of divination, and the thing that's coming to me too is I'm thinking of like Delphi, the Oracle of Delphi, and things like this. So there was this Python of Delphi as well, and the Python of Delphi would dowse with a pendulum to sort of see what answers would come and questions that people had. She would divine with this she would dowse with this pendulum. And this was the Python of Delphi. And you have an ancient connection to this somehow, Teresa, definitely. And she would the kings, queens, great distances to talk to this Delphi. To consult with the Python of Delphi, to consult with her. So uh, there is some sort of decision going on, some sort of decision that something went wrong with a decision using this form of divination. And if you have used a pendulum in this life, in this incarnation, you might have felt really negative about it, or felt some sort of weird thing like, oh, this will never work, or something like that. It's because you're shut off from it, and you got to remember it, and it's interesting too because like the pendulum, you you should never use it to try to fulfill your desires. If you're using it to fill your own desires or other people's desires, that's probably a good place to look where it could have gone wrong in the past. Uh, you have free will. It's important for you to decide what you want to do, where you want to go. You don't have to use forms of divination to lead you in your life. You could use intuition. You don't have to try to gain a supernatural edge over people by using these abilities. So that might be where it went wrong. So I'm sorry, Teresa. So I don't know if this is, I couldn't read what the chat room is saying or anything. So I don't know if you're relating to this at all, but it's a message that you need to seek your answers inside of yourself, not go to a form outside of yourself. If you're using the pendulum to seek your answers in your life, you should go within instead. So that's probably where it went wrong. You need to go within rather from without, and trust your own wise uh, committee that you have in your mind, your own counsel, your own wise men that you have inside of you, and be more discerning. And don't take others' advice at face value. Go within. Go release your guilt and focus on what's really best for you, and make a major decision in your life is going to soon come up, regarding and you're going to have to make a major decision really soon, and that's why this is coming up. So it's really good to remember something, to let go of the past, because it's going to help you in a decision that's coming up that you're going to have to make really soon. And the best advice I have is to go within during that decision. Don't take the advice from others for this decision. This decision that's coming up, you really need to go from within. Okay? I don't know if that's making sense for you, if that's something that's going on right now, if you know if there's a decision that's coming up, but there will be a decision really, really soon. That's coming up. yeah, so she's even saying that it feels like you haven't been able to use your gifts. You have um this deep gift of being able to figure things out really quickly, and you're able almost to hone in on it. All right, almost you can figure things out so fast. It's like you have um, a pierce into the future, you know. And I think that's because in a prior lifetime you were some sort of like Delphi was. People came to you for advice. People came to you for some sort of and that's probably why we're all led to each other. You know, a lot of us that are feel like that we were meant for so much more, or we know we have something really special within us. We just can't put our finger on it. It's like we've been disconnected, right? So that's kind of like what's going on here. You know, we're sort of an old soul family finding each other. And that's why if you hear me talk about certain things, it'll like click. You'll feel this this tingle going from the back of your head all the way down, and it's like, oh my God, you know, with certain people, me or other people, you'll feel this click, you know. So that's definitely what's happening with everybody. And like I said at the beginning of the chat room, if anybody wants to donate $20 or $25 or more, I will send them crystals in the mail. And I have kyanite, quartz tower, phantom generators, all sorts of things that I charge with amazing energy. So we'll do. I guess we'll do one more, right? Melinda, is it Melinda that wanted one as well? Is anybody else that wanted one? I know most of you guys I have on Patreon as well. Um, Melinda, right? All right, Melinda. So definitely, anybody who's if you're just finding me right now too, if this is the first time that you've ever seen a video from me, you can find me at themysticalspiral.com, and you can find my Patreon at patreon.com/themysticalspiral. And I do have a radio show each and every week. Um, you could go find me at tfrlive.com/Eye of Ra. And there's also things available on my website. Wow, Teresa, thank you so much. So, Teresa, I know exactly what to send you. I have a piece of kyanite and a phantom generator quartz tower that I know you need to have. So just, I'm not sure if I have your address, but just send it to me privately. You have my email address, so definitely, that's definitely what we need. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, Melinda, that this is going to be very interesting. Oh yeah, so Melinda does have the kyanite as well for me. So I do. You know what? I think Teresa. Oh, somebody just else sent one. Guys, Teresa, I think I have a special one for you that I only have one of. It's a golden healer cluster, and for some reason, I think that you need that. So I'm gonna actually send you that and a piece of kyanite. If you want a quartz tower as well, I'll send you that as well. Just let me know, because the quartz tower is amplifies energy, and if you have some of Masaki's products, especially his Tower Buster or something like that, the quartz tower goes perfect on top of that. Um, so Melinda, this is very easy. What's coming up for me, I'm seeing um, sort of like a residual imprint of I Ching, which is a Chinese form of divination. And we all have psychic abilities. They're in us. Uh, they're in us. It's just a normal condition of the human life. It's not supernatural. Hey, baby. Mika, baby, I'm coming home in like 10 minutes. I got the tissues, everything already. I love you, baby. Oh, I gave my honey a cold. Baby, I'll be home in a couple minutes, all right? I already went to the store. I took a shower. I'll be home. I'm at my dad's. I'll be home in a couple minutes. I love you. I'm making some money for us right now, baby. So I'm working and I'm doing Christmas gifts for everybody right here. I'm giving some Christmas readings and Ember season readings. So I'm hoping, baby, you know, and everybody out there, this is what I want to do for a living. I don't want to work in a warehouse killing myself. I want to use my gifts to help everybody and myself and my family. So I just don't want to be put out in the mainstream like that. I could have gone on Oprah or something years ago, probably, but I don't want to be like that, you know. So there's some sort of change that you need to do, Melinda. A big time change. And the only way you're going to be able to do this change is if you activate and remember this past ability you have to be able to, sort of like, you know, there's a deep and ancient knowledge that needs to surface and need to change. And the way you view yourself and the world is a very unique way. And this is where your ability lies, is that you're able to allow someone else and allow the world and help the world change. And this is where your ability, it needs to be remembered, is that somewhere deep within yourself and on another timeline is that you're so powerful that you can help the world change. I don't know if it was through some sort of charity that you were helping run, that something went wrong, or you were helping things on a worldwide level. I don't know if it was like you were part of the United Nations or if you were part of something like that, but you were making decisions that affected the world and something went wrong. All right. So the I Ching is it's an ancient form of divination. So I was getting symbols for this that came up. So that might be what's going on. And you know, this is a probably the oldest book, if not one of the oldest books of wisdom, is by using this. And you know, uh, one of the only things that probably wasn't even that wasn't burnt in China, you know, that they preserved. Uh, Now, the I Ching provides basically like a response to your deepest changes in the world. You know, they find about changes that's happening within the world. And, you know, we have changing times right now. You know, it can't be denied how our times are changing and what's going on. So I think that um, I'm reading the chat room at the same time. So I think that by you doing that, it's going to really help. And you know that it's always difficult for people to embrace new feelings and new beginnings and new things like this. But it's the only way to move forward, right? It's the only way to go forward, and it's the only way you can turn things around for yourself and shake up your life a little, right? So I think that that's exactly what's happening. You're kind of like being urged by the universe to sort of shake things up a little, sort of you know, turn things around, and that there's a big change, a big, huge change coming for you. Um, Thank you, Lucid Planet. Really appreciate it. But and everybody, anybody that sent me the $20 or more donation that wants that wants the crystals, my website is themysticalspiral.com. Maybe we'll do one more reading real quick. My website is themysticalspiral.com, and my email is on there, but it's also moontribe712 at hotmail.com. So if you email me with your address, of course, if you live outside the United States, it might cost me a little bit more to mail it to you. So we'll talk privately, because if it's like a lot of money and you live in Australia or something like that, we might have to work something out, because I can't be paying $20 to mail stuff to you guys. But if it's within the U.S., it don't. It's only like $2-3, so it'll be all right. But definitely, I have something special for you, Teresa, for sure, and everybody else that has sent me something. I know Melinda has gotten a golden healer cluster from me before, and kyanite, so she knows. Hawaii, don't worry about it, Teresa. We'll take care of you. You're good. You've been a great supporter to me. You've always given donations, paid for readings, and you've been a great supporter to Misaki. You know, so don't worry, Teresa. We'll get you sent out to Hawaii, no problem. It might take a little longer, but I'll send it out Monday. You know, so wait, no, not Monday. I'm thinking this is the weekend. Probably tomorrow. All right, I'll box it up tonight, and most likely to get sent out tomorrow. Or my next day off is Friday. So the latest it'll get shipped out is Friday. I will send you guys the tracking numbers like I always do. People have ordered from me probably in the chat room right now. They know I always put the tracking number to you guys. So Lucid, yeah, Lucid, no doubt. Let me know. I have a huge stock of kyanite and quartz towers. The golden healer clusters, like I said, I only have like hardly any left. I have like one or two left. So that I don't have for sale, but I do have the kyanite and the quartz tower phantom generators for sale, and I'm going to be getting more stuff in soon. So I just haven't picked out what I wanted to get yet. But the kyanite, I always keep a stock of that because that's one of my favorite ones, is to have kyanite because it maintains the charge forever. I'm sorry, I gotta like bend over to be in front of the camera because it's plugged in right now. I'm on a short leash right now. My phone's gonna die, so I'm sorry. I gotta like hunch over to like look into the camera. But yeah, so we'll do one more. Who else for one more quick reading before we go? Um, Johnny, you want one? Blue Star Nebula? Is that's John? That is John Kelly, right? All right. So I think we'll do John, right? Yeah, see, I don't like to give predictions. I sense things sometimes, but like we have free will. Things change. Decisions are made. People do things, and nothing is set in stone. I hate when people say that everything's already figured out for us, and everything's already set in stone. Yes, some things, certain things are cyclical, right? But we have free will, everybody. We have the choice of doing anything like we want. We could make the choice anytime. It's weird, John, because this is twice that this has come up for me in the last week. I did a reading on somebody else the other day. I can't reveal the name, of course. It's got to be private. But it was somebody through Patreon, I think. Yeah, Patreon. And I had this same symbol come up. And usually when this comes up, it's about picking up fragmented pieces of yourself, picking up scattered pieces of your timelines of your soul, and letting you know that you are complete again. You can let go of those paths because you feel incomplete. You feel scattered. All right. You feel like that you've been fragmented in some ways, and I got this picture of, okay. So a lot of times let me be in front of the camera. A lot of times in ancient ways, there would be these things called Shagai bones or Shagai bones. It's spelled Saagai, I think, like something like that. And Shagai bones are basically in ancient Mongolia, in ancient China, ancient places like this, Tibet. They would take either break off pieces of shoulder bones, or they would take the knuckle bones of goats, sheep, things like this, even wolves. And they would take the knuckle bones and they would use them, shake them up, and throw them on the ground. And whatever form they came in, they would have these certain seers. It was seen that they had a certain genetic ability inside of them to interpret what form, what comes out of these bones. People would see, oh, it's nothing. It's just a couple bones on the ground. But no, these psychics, if you want to call them, for lack of a better word, they would have a certain genetic ability to see an image within these bones, to see a certain landscape, a certain form would show them a certain imagery, scenery. And it was a genetic ability, and it wasn't just something that was made up. It was like intense, and people would feel the vibe that happened, and almost like the person would go into a trance and see a whole form, whole event take place within those scattered bones on the floor. And it's about being fragmented. When I see that symbol, it's about you being fragmented and picking up those pieces of those fragments, and you. I really feel that you need to be really silent, maybe even get a Tibetan singing bowl with that noise and hit that bell and really concentrate and breathe deeply and know that you will never have to go through the same pain and the same difficulties that you did in other incarnations. You've done it already, so let go of it. You don't have to go through those same pains, those same difficulties, those same problems again like you're doing now. And you're going through those same problems that you went through in another lifetime again now. You need to let it go. Breathe deeply and realize this. And you know, there's no room for being uncertain in your life. All right? There's no room for that at all. So you need to remember this ancient ability to see the beauty in all things, to determine things in to see even in the darkest, even in a bone, you can see the beauty in things and the imagery in things. And you need to remember this, you know, and remember this ability. And this is also like symbols for that. Like you can, like a situation is being healed for you right now. You know, once this, you remember this ability and then you've used this ability in a negative way in the past, then you can be healed now in the present because it's all now. It's the eternal now, you know? So this is time to pick up your fragmented pieces, right? And move on and stop playing the victim. You know, you can't be ruled by your emotions anymore, John. So you can't be the victim, and you need to focus on a positive outcome and give yourself time to heal and grieve, and happiness awaits, you know, for sure. And, you know, this is still common in Mongolia, all over places like this, these Shagai bones. And it's not just seen as a some sort of charlatan throwing things on the floor, because there are people that mimic this. There are charlatans who I'm sure you know, make believe they have that ability, but there are true Shagai healers, you know, that truly have that genetic trait to read it. It's just like in Kabbalah, there is the Baal Shem Tov. Now, the Baal Shem Tov was a guy who would write magical, like there were spells, but through they would write a little thing on a paper. It would be like a Jewish symbol or a Jewish word, and it would be a spell. It would be a written spell, some sort of written healing thing. And there was so many of these the Baal Shem Tov. It originally was one guy who made these magical scripts, right? But it became a title. People would go to the Baal Shem Tov to sort of like get a magical healing, a magical remedy. And there were all these guys that most people back then too were illiterate, so they didn't even understand what the guy wrote on the paper. So he wrote on the old script, and it didn't mean shit. And he would, you know, they had all this money for it, and it would be fake. But there were some real ones. There were some real people who can really write some sort of magical inscription in a certain code, a certain formula. And this is that ability that you have as well. You know, you have this magic within you that you need to realize that you've used in a negative way before, and it's time to move on and pick up those scattered pieces. Everybody, it's been a real pleasure. It's been a real joy. And have a Merry Christmas, Merry Ember season, and Spiral out.